Well, hello. Thanks for coming back to check out another video. So, we are here today to do a low buy update, and you might be sitting there like, Haley, you just posted your low buy introduction, and that is a fair point. I did. My January schedule was a little bit like crammed full of things, and that was a video that kept getting pushed like back further and further. I'd actually wanted that to go up earlier. It just didn't make the mark for it. So it was actually filmed like around December 30th-ish, maybe the 31st. I always leave my filming dates in the description box just in case you're curious about it. So I have actually had a whole month to like sit here and think about these rules and if I wanted to change anything. And since posting that video, you guys have also left like some helpful comments or like had some questions. So I thought it would be good to do this. I don't know if I'll have like a monthly update every month with the low buy, maybe just as I see fit. Like if there's anything I want to declutter, anything that's come in, or any rules that I need to like tweak a little bit, because this is still very much like a learning process for me, then we would do updates at that point. So I don't know if they will be monthly or not. But yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. So I do have 2 new rules that I, want to add in and kind of like maybe just clarify is a better word. And then we have some declutters, and then I have some things that came into my collection that don't count against my low buy. So if that sounds exciting to you, then we will get right on into this. All right, so I have my little notebook here that has all my like rules and everything. So if I'm looking down, that's why I just want to make sure that I'm telling you exactly as I have it written down, So the first thing we will talk about is eyeliners. This was something that I thought of after I had posted the video. So in my collection, I have 5 eyeliners currently. I have a peachy nude eyeliner. I have a black eyeliner, like a more electric blue one, and then like a neon yellow, and then I have like a pastel purple. And I love all of these. So I really have enjoyed like colored eyeliners, and I would love to have a brown eyeliner and like a kind of like grungy olivey green eyeliner. So I have decided that for my eyeliner category, I am allowing myself to have up to 10 eyeliners, but they all have to be a different color. Like I can't have like 2 blacks or 2, browns or anything like that. Like they all have to be a different color. So like I said, I am kind of in the market for a good brown and a good olivey green one. But then the other thing is that this particular category with eyeliners is not going to have to abide by the 2 out, 1 in rule. So if I completely use up my black eyeliner, then I can go out and repurchase a black eyeliner. Like this is a more 1-for-1 category in that sense, with a limit up to 10. Because to me, it just doesn't make sense to like have to force myself like, okay, I used up my whole black eyeliner and I really want to repurchase it, but now I have to use up this electric blue one as well. So things can be a 1-for-1 purchase within this category. I think that that is more than completely fair. And like I said, there's really only 2 other colors that I'm looking to like bring into my collection as it stands right now. So then kind of along that same vein with like some categories, instead of being a 2 out, 1 in, they're going to be like a 1-for-1. So my glitter primer, now in my makeup inventory, I just lump this in with my like eyeshadow bases, eyeshadow primers, things like that. And I'm going to keep that. Like I don't want so many categories. I think it makes sense just to keep them all together. But this NYX glitter glue serves a very different purpose than the like traditional eyeshadow primer. This has become quite a staple within my collection. I love to use this basically every time I do an eye look. I always put this down and then put my shimmer shade on top of it. I really feel like not only does that make my shimmer shades pop a little bit more, but it helps to greatly reduce the fallout. So this is one of those things where I'm not going to use this up and use up an eyeshadow base just to repurchase this. Like this is a 1-for-1 purchase. All right, so then Erin had a really good question on like how declutters are going to work. So I'm going to make this like the 8th rule within my low buy. And it's more of like, I guess it's a rule, but it's also just some clarification. So I am allowed to obviously declutter things throughout the year. Now, the way that in my mind it needs to work is that the only way I'm really going to declutter something is if it just absolutely at the end of the day does not work. Like it causes me some type of reaction or something like that. So if I have tried my best to make an item work and I need to declutter it from my life, like it's just miserable, there is no getting around it, then that still counts for the 2 out, 1 in. So like if I decluttered, I don't know, let's say 2 lipsticks because they were just horrible colors, like just gave me concealer lips or something, couldn't use them as a cream blush, couldn't use them as like an under eye primer, like I've tried everything, then I could declutter those and that would count as my 2 out, and so I could bring 1 in. But along that same note, let's say with those 2 lipsticks, just for argument's sake, that I was decluttering them because they had went bad, they had gone off. That does not count in the 2 out, 1 in, because obviously if something has gone off, that means at the end of the day that I have too many of them, so I don't need to bring like another item in. That's how my brain is at least thinking of it. So if something is decluttered because it has gone off, then it does not count in any way towards my 2 out, 1 in. But if it's just been decluttered because it's something that I absolutely cannot stand, then it still counts for my 2 out, 1 in rule. All right, so that was it for as far as like kind of rule updates, maybe like some tweakings that we had. So I do have 3 items that I am going to declutter from my collection. None of these have went bad. I just cannot stand them. I cannot get them to work for me. So the first one is this Benefit mascara. This is the Bad Gal Bang mascara. I just don't. This wand is like super tiny. It's really spiky. I have poked myself in the eye so many times using this. This is also just at the end of the day, 1, like the application method is just not pleasant. Like I said, I've poked myself in the eye. But 2, the formula of this is just not good. Like this does nothing for my lashes. This in no way lengthens them, does not give them any volume or any kind of shape. I have used this with my tried and true lash primer, which is from Milani, the violet one. It's terrible that way. And I've also used it on its own because I do have a mascara that plays better by itself than with that lash primer. But this is not the case. This is just a terrible, terrible mascara, and I don't want it in my collection. I don't want it like hanging around. I don't want anything to do with it. So it's going to be leaving. All right, so then my other declutter is 2 eyeliners. These are both from LA Girl. These are their Shockwave metallic eyeliners. Now let me say, I have both of my neon eyeliners that I showed you earlier are from LA Girl within the Shockwave collection, but they're the neon eyeliners, and those are fine and dandy. And then my black eyeliner is also from LA Girl, but it's one of the Glide gel liners. All 3 of those are quite lovely, really nice mascaras. They stay in the waterline. They do not like migrate around, even if you have some watery eyes going on. But these 2 from the metallic line, it's the brown one, which is the shade Sugared Brown, and then it is the purple one, which is the shade Sequins. I don't know what is up with these. These are not old. I purchased these maybe sometime in like November. There's a swatch of them, the purple and the brown. So they're not that old, but they are super dry. They're almost like the ColourPop Creme Gel eyeliners. And every time I use these, I feel like I'm stabbing myself in the eye because it's just that dry. Like you have to put so much pressure and go back in and layer it so often to get any kind of color buildup. Like these swatches are deceiving. Don't go by that. And then 2, it does not last in my waterline. Like even if I don't have watery eyes that day, like I'll go and look at my makeup in the mirror like after an hour of application and the color is just not there anymore. So while I recommend the LA Girl eyeliners, I think they're really good, I would stay away specifically from the metallic eyeliners. These are just atrocious. They are in no way the same formula, have not been able to get them to work, and so I'm going to let these go and not even worry about it. Oh, letting stuff go for declutter, like just getting rid of stuff, decluttering stuff that just absolutely is trash and does not work, feels so nice just to get that out. So glad we got that done. All right, so then the last 2 items that I want to talk about, they came into my life after I did my makeup inventory, but they were Christmas gifts from my BFF. So they were sent like in December and they just didn't arrive in time for things like that. So these don't count against my low buy because my low buy started January 1st. So even though these weren't like technically in my collection, they were sent to me before this. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. That's how it makes sense to me now. for the remainder of 2022, gifts will count in like all of these rules that I have. But just these two, since they were Christmas gifts and that happens before the start of the new year, these don't count. So this first one is actually an eyeshadow palette, and I was able to include this in my eyeshadow palette like collection video, so you guys have already seen this. But this is the Violet Voss Wild Dahlia palette. This is super pretty. I have used this twice now since receiving it. I will say the matte shadows in here are a bit like on the drier side. They take a little bit of finessing, and this black shadow is not really up to snuff. Like it blends away and turns into like a gray kind of patchy mess. But the shimmers in here are very nice and very lovely. And I can get these brown shadows to work. It's really just this black eyeshadow that I've dipped into where I'm like, that's not it. But yeah, the shimmers in here are some stunning shimmers, and I absolutely love it. This is quickly going to become a favorite palette for me. So that now exists in my collection. But like I said, you guys already knew about this. The item that you didn't know about, because I had posted my inventory and everything before it came in, is this like little 4-piece mini lip set that she sent me. So this is from Bite Beauty. This is their Millennial Pinks collection. It is a 4-piece mini power move creamy matte lip crown set. This is really pretty. It comes in like this nice little tin, which I have decided to store all 4 of the mini lipsticks into here, but I've already taken them out. That way I could swatch them for you and like talk about them, because I know everybody likes swatches. So let me swatch these out. Okay, so I have all the shades swatched out on my hand. I will leave the shade names on the screen for you guys in order like of the swatches from top to bottom, but they're all 4 super pretty. I really like this like variety of pinks. I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of use out of these throughout the year. I would have to say my favorite though is this top one, because it's more of that like pinky brown kind of shade, and you guys know how I feel about my pinky brown lipsticks. Actually, this first shade is what I have on today, so that's exciting. But I just wanted to show you guys, like, these are what the little component looks like. They have like the more like sharpened kind of tip to them, and then there's still like, for a mini, that's a good amount of product to like try out a color and really decide if you like it or not. So I am quite pleased with this and quite thankful for these 2 gifts, so thank you again, BFF, you know who you are. So yeah, that is really it for this video. That is everything that I needed to talk to you guys about, and yeah, I hope that cleared up some things. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.